Hey guys, Koichi here, and it's that time of year again, where I count down my top 5 best and worst animated films of... Wait a minute, how many animated films did we get now? What? 20 animated movies in 2021? That is way too many for a top 5 best and worst. Okay, how about a Shafriela style ranking instead? Sounds good? Got it. Despite all the good things sprinkled in there, like Biden and Harris taking over America, the vaccines being available, movie theaters slowly coming back, and we just freed Britney, 2021 was even worse than last year. You thought the pandemic's over? That's what happened. Fox News happened, Republicans happened, vaccine inequity happened, anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers happened, and variants like Delta and Omicron happened. This year sucked big time. For everything but pop culture. The 2 anniversaries of my favorite gaming franchises, channels like Cartoon Network and Disney getting their groove back, the streaming wars are still fresh. And, of course, half of the animated films are bigger in quantity, and better in quality. Unfortunately, with this Shafriela style ranking, we might have to start with the other half, and the other half is all crap. Ladies and gentlemen, here are all the animated films of 2021, ranked.
Disappointment in the game of life!
And the award for worst animated film of 2021 goes to... Back to the Outback. Y'all didn't expect this, did you? This movie is the new Escape from Planet Earth. It is the worst Madagascar ripoff you can think of, doing the bare minimum when ripping off a movie by plagiarizing the DreamWorks film with the same plot, the same comedy, the same tone and the same message. Yes, Madagascar kind of has the same moral as this film. But just because the animation and characters don't rip it off, doesn't mean they get a pass. The animation may look well rendered, and the animal designs look decent, but it is ridiculously cheap and lazy, with some of the worst human design in any animated feature. I mean, can you even look at these guys and tell me that they're good enough for a computer animated movie made for Netflix by Netflix? No. They look like mutations of LOL surprise dolls that shouldn't be alive. The characters are the emptiest and blandest tropes you can find. Literally every single one of them. And just because it's an all-Australian cast, doesn't make the voice acting any good. The performances in this are terrible, and the voices don't match some of the characters' tropes. Do you know why animation's being stigmatized as a genre for babies? It's because of movies like this. This movie embodies and enforces everything about the stereotype to its core. How come every time we get a good and mature animated movie, a completely crappy annoyingly bare bones one has to ruin it? This cycle just keeps repeating itself, and it's gonna do that next year.
You think I'm a robot?
If it weren't for that Australian embarrassment, this would have been number 1. Ron's Con Rung is to the Iron Giant what Outback is to Madagascar. It kind of has the same problems as that movie. The story mostly does nothing new with its cliches, the humor doesn't land, the characters can range from bland to despicable, and the animation is just ugly. Except for the B-bots, which look decent, the character designs are disgusting. They literally look like Ren and Stimpy rejects mixed with everybody's hero. Also some of the worst human designs in an animated film. The backgrounds aren't any better. It's just a generic town school hill tech factory. Not creative. The movie's message in technology was not as strong or helpful as it's making it out to be. Again, movies like this are why animation is being stigmatized as a genre for babies. They keep doing the bare minimum to make animation a difference and present it as a medium for storytelling. It's not just Ron that's gone wrong, but so did his own movie.
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours.
Who the fridge asked for Rumble to come back to 2021 on Paramount Plus just to screw things up for the ranking. This has got to be not only the worst animated sports flick, but also the worst one for families as well. The characters in this script are pathetic tropes that have been beaten to death a million times before. Tentacular is one of the worst twist villains in a single movie. I already saw his villain twist from 39.5 feet away. Not even the decent voice acting can fix the piss poor material these actors have given. No suspense, no surprises, no engagement, and no enjoyment can be found in this movie. Not only did this film rip off Kung Fu Panda, but it also copied UHF with some of the story structure and the villain's goal to turn the stadium into a parking lot. What the hell, Paramount? That was a masterpiece you're stealing from. The animation may have some good concepts, but the rendering just ruined the execution and made some of the background characters look like they came straight out of MetaRunner. This is coming out of Real FX for Pete's sake. This is the same studio that animated Rock Dog and Scoob. Why would they sink their quality that low for this embarrassment? I do like the concept of monster wrestling, but that is more suitable for a fighting game than a feature film. This movie did little to nothing with this amazing concept with cool monster designs like these, and decided to roll with the most templative copy and paste execution possible. What a waste of ideas, guys. Next time, you're gonna be making your first R-rated horror movie, and guess how badly you're gonna screw that up the same way you did this mess and Wonder Park.
How could you post a picture from my awkward stage?
Mama, this remake sucks. As someone who has seen 3 of the live-action films, this feels like the cartoon version of every live-action remake that Disney usually makes. The new Diary of a Wimpy Kid is a disappointing comeback for the franchise with some garbage writing that fails to capture the spirit of the damn books. This movie cuts out way too much of what made the story iconic in the first place, and that makes the story in this feel rushed and predictable from top to bottom. The animation was poorly executed and rendered, and looks like a weird combination of video game models that somehow resemble the book's designs, and motion capture that feels like Food Fight. What happened to the Peanuts movie style that they were going for in the test animations? Were those test animations secretly made by Blue Sky Studios, and did Disney shut down their studio to find a worse company to animate this movie? Not only did the rushed nature ruin the story, but it also made the characters either add nothing to that story, or become major deep hardeners to the point of making middle schoolers look bad. Also, the diary scenes in 2D didn't look as good as the ones before, or even look good at all. The movements made them look like Go Animate or The Odd Ones Out. But here's the biggest issue, the red hot button, and the white elephant in the room of this movie. The running time. This movie is only 58 minutes. That's an indicator of how rushed and cheap this remake is. I know it's a petty reason to hate a movie, but I have standards for how long a movie should be, and how it would impact the stakes of a story and the development on a cast of characters. 58 minutes is not enough to properly execute things that would have made the new Wimpy Kid a good retelling of the original story. Jeff Kinney, I know you're the author of this franchise, but you should have taken film school first, before you decide to bring your own creation back to the art of cinema.
Welcome to This Horse's Anus.
Oh boy, did DreamWorks literally make a movie that nobody asked for. Spirit Untamed is a sequel to a box office bomb and is based on a frickin' Netflix series, which really questions its theatrical release when troll hunters kept their movie on the platform. As a retelling of Spirit Riding Free, it swaps out half of the first season's plotlines in favor of making the story as predictable as possible. You can guess the ending right off the bat with no twists or turns whatsoever. It's literally the same story of a human trying to take a creature back home that's been done to death, and the cliches are fresh out of the horse's anus. The characters in this film are annoying as hell. They kept spewing bad jokes and pointless dialogue to ruin their chemistry. The voice acting isn't any better, since the actors sound like they came straight out of a Bear Man video. You know, the videos that August the Duck would pick on. The only thing I would appreciate in this movie is the animation. The animators did a really good job on taking a show that looks like a Nintendo 64 game and turning it into something that looks like Fortnite. Also, one thing to mention is that Join Up is the worst song in a single DreamWorks movie. It really emphasizes why these characters are nutsacks and that the music is so bad that it actually ruins the movie. They can't frickin' sing or act. Really, DreamWorks, this is how you follow up one of your hand-drawn movies? Do not think about touching El Dorado Horse Input, unless you care about making a good sequel that doesn't suck as much balls as this hot pile of horse scat.